right, guys, I hope you are doing well. This is our third video, I believe, or fourth video, and we are now in everyone's favorite class, Algebra, 2. Yes, the crowd goes wild. You guys didn't think, or you guys thought you were going to get rid of me, didn't you? You were thinking Pastor Guzman forgot about us. I did not, my friends, and I am back. And I have brought my friends with me, my notes. Well, I hope you guys have been enjoying your time off. I hope you're not sitting at home doing nothing, eating chocolate, and watching TV all day, watching Dr. Phil or whatever it is you watch. But actually taking time to do something productive. And so hopefully that is your case. Some of you are working, or you have some part-time jobs, right, Kaylee? Right? I'm still got to go get some of that bread you have over there. But don't forget that you still have work to do. Okay, you have some work to do. Now, speaking of work, some of you have not turned in any work yet. Yay! No, that's not good. I'm still waiting for some of you to turn in your work. I will not name any names in this video, but if I don't get any of your work, your beautiful faces will be plastered all over my notes around here and there so that everyone would know you're not doing your homework. All right, great. So today we're going to go over our quadratic equations, or at least we're going to start to go through these. I want to make sure you guys understood these when we went over them in class. And so we're going to go through them one by one. So this will be part one in this series of quadratic equations. Yes, I like having fun with these videos. Anyway, I will have you know that I am still losing weight. Yes, I am. Look at how I look now. Don't I look good? Yes, I told you I was his brother. I'm also drinking a lot of juicy juice. It's 100% juice. I probably shouldn't be drinking this because it says no added sugar, but it has a lot of potassium and a lot of carbs in it. 26 grams of sugar. I probably shouldn't be drinking this. Anyway, hopefully you guys are not gaining weight either, sitting at your house eating all the food in the world. But anyway, all right, let's get started. Quadratic equations. The word quadratic comes from the Latin word for square. Okay, quadratic is a Latin, or the root word is in Latin, and it means square. So in algebra, any equation whose highest degree term is a squared term, that equation is called a quadratic equation, like the one that we have right here. Okay, this is a three-term equation, and the highest degree term is squared. So this is a quadratic equation. Now, what is our goal when it comes to quadratic equations? Our goal, and I hope you're writing all of this down. You need to write this down because remember, you not only need to turn in your homework that I will most gladly give you at the end of this video, but you also need to turn in a copy of your notes. Okay, so keep that in mind. Our goal in a quadratic equation, or solving them, is to break down a given equation to find its simplest form and to find the values of x that will make the equation true. That will make the equation true. I don't know how to spell. Here we go. That will make the equation true. All right, great. So, for example, we all know square roots, okay? And the square root of 16, we know is 4 because 4 times 4 is 16. The square root of 64 is 8 because 8 times 8 is 64. So that is basically what we're going to do with these quadratic equations. We're going to find two numbers or two expressions whose product will equal the original equation. Okay, just like we would for square roots. All right, so let's continue. Now, the quadratic equations or quadratic equations follow a particular format. And the format or the order that they follow is like this one right here. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay? And so that is the formula or the format that all quadratic equations follow. Now, later on, we are going to be given, and we did this in class before all this pandemonium broke out with the coronavirus. I'm not bitter about that or anything, but I am just bored. Anyway, let's continue. Before we left, we were using quadratic equations that were out of place. For example, that was over there, or this one was over here. And before we solved the quadratic equation, we had to turn it back into this bad boy right here. Okay, so we'll get back to that in a little bit in the next few days. Now let's continue. You are copying this down, right, Abby? Oh, Gail, where have you been? I missed you, Gail. You need to tell your mom to send some tacos. Let's continue. Now, what are the steps to solving a quadratic equation? The steps to solving a quadratic equation. We are going to use 4 of them. Okay, 4 of them. All right, so 4 simple steps. 4 simple steps. Just like also that dinosaur, not dinosaur, that what do you call it? That oh so special. I forgot what the name of that cartoon was. I'll look it up and I'll put his face right here. But anyway, he had 3 simple steps. Well, here we have 4 simple steps. All right, so we are going to solve this quadratic equation up here. X squared plus 2x minus 24 equals 0. All right, great. So what is the first step in solving a quadratic equation? Number 1, we need to factor out the first term. The first term is that one right there. Okay, number 1, number 2, and number 3. All right, so we're going to factor that out. And so we're going to factor it out. Basically, we're just going to divide this here. How do I get x squared? Well, I get that by multiplying x times x. Okay. And so that's why I have my x here and x here. Good. Step number 2, I must look for 2 numbers whose product equals the third term, which in this case is negative 24, and whose sum equals the middle term or the second term right there. Okay, so this is easy. You're going to follow the same steps in all of these. They may be some variation from one to the other, but I just need to ask myself, what 2 numbers multiplied together will give me 24? Well, obviously 24 times 1 will give me 24. 12 times 2 will give me 24. Let's see, 8 times 3. Yeah, 8 times 3 will give me 24. And obviously 6 and 4 will give me 24. Good. So, so I go through that and I decide, oh, look, it's 6 and 4. Yay. Okay, so then I need to make sure that I have the right symbols. Because when I add the 2 numbers that give me 24, negative 24, they also, or when I multiply them, they'll give me negative 24. But when I add them, they need to give me a positive 2x. And so those two numbers will be 6 and 4. Now, whatever number, whatever the sign here is, whatever this sign is, must go on the larger of the two digits. Okay? So whatever that sign there is, in this case is 3, that positive, that positive needs to go on the larger of the two digits, in this case 6. So my factors, 6 plus x plus 6 and x minus 4, should give me that right there. And when I multiply them out, I find out that they do. Okay, so step number 3 is we need to check by multiplying the factors that we got in step number 2. Beautiful. Now, if you are 100% sure that you got the right ones, then you don't have to do step number 3. But I am not Einstein. I am Isaac Newton, so I need to check them. Okay? So I go through the process of adding them. Okay? And when I multiply them, I get a negative 24. And when I add them, I get a positive 2. So I know I am right. And what else did we expect? Anyway, let's continue. And then, now I'm not done yet. So I need to do step number 4, which tells me that I need to set my factors to equal 0 and solve for x. All right, so I have x right here. And here we go. Here's my factor number 1 and factor number 2. I'm going to solve for x. That means I want to isolate the variables. And so these two will cancel out, right? Negative 6 here, negative 6. X is equal to negative 6. And here I'm going to add 4 on the other side. X is equal to a positive 4. So I can take that negative 6 and that negative 4, and I can put them back into this equation right here. And those two values for x should make this expression be true. So everything that is on this side will equal everything that's on this side. Okay? So, and that's how you check the problem. Okay, great. So that's how we work those out. Now, that's example numero 1. Let's do example number 2 quickly. Example number 2. Now, in some of these, you will have a coefficient, in this case 3, in front of the first term. Okay, in that first one that we did, there wasn't a coefficient there. But in this one, we do have a coefficient. But it does not matter, my friends. Fret not. Do not be afraid. All you have to do is follow the steps. The 4 simple steps. Okay. Oh, Special Agent Oso. That was the guy's name. I knew I was going to remember. Anyway, Special Agent Oso. Chubby bears. In the millennium, I'm going to have a bear and I want to have a tiger. I'm just saying, I want 2 of those. They're so fluffy and I want to ride both of them. Can you imagine me riding down the street on a big old polar bear? It's going to be awesomeness. All right, let's continue. So I am going to factor out the 3x squared. Okay, so for that, I'm just simply going to ask myself, well, self, what 2 numbers will equal, when I multiply them, equal 3? Self answers back and says 3 and 1. Okay, so that is an understood 1 there. So I'm going to put 3x here and x here. If I were to multiply 3x times 3x times x, that will give me 3x squared right there. Okay, great. Now I can go on to, so I have factored out the first term. Now, step number 2, I am going to ask myself again, what 2 numbers multiplied together will give me a negative 9? Obviously, going through my quick multiplication, Times tables, I know that 9 times 1 is equal to 9, and 3 times 3 is equal to 9. All right, great. So now I need to get my factors to equal -9, and yet at the same time equal a +6. A +6. Okay, now, so I have 3x and x, and then I'm going to put -3 here and +3 here. Now, I need to make sure that that is correct, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply these. So I'm going to have 3x minus 3 times x plus 3. Okay, so that's a -9. 3 times 3 is 9x. That's positive. And then 3 times x is -3x. And x times 3x, that's going to give me 3x squared. And I can just tell by looking at it that when I add the middle terms, I will get a +6, right? Because these two are going to be combined. And that will give me the middle term of +6x. Great. And so I've done my checking by multiplying. I've done steps numbers 1, 2, and 3. Now let's go on to step number 4, which tells moi, that is French for Juan, tells Juan that I need to set the factors to equal 0. Okay, they're going to equal 0 here and equal 0 here. I am going to isolate the variables. Now this one is a little different, and there are some of these where you will get a fraction. If you can reduce the fraction, go ahead and reduce it. If not, just leave it. But so I'm going to add 3, add 3, add 3, and I'm left with 3x equals 3. I'm going to divide by 3, divide by 3. And so x is equal to 3 over 3 or 1. And then over here, I'm just going to subtract 3, subtract 3. X is equal to -3. All right. Now, if I take that value and this value here and plug them back into that equation right there, I should get 0 here and 0 there, making the equation true. Okay, good. All right. I hope you all remember how to do this. And you are writing this down, right? Look at those beautiful notes. You see how beautiful those notes are? That's how beautiful I want your notes to look like. All right, great. Let's do another one. Don't look at the homework down there. I don't want you to get freaked out just yet. Okay, so let's do this one. Haha. So here we have 6x squared plus 37x plus 56 equals 0, a quadratic equation. Step numero uno, I'm going to factor out the first term. Okay, I'm going to factor out the first term. Now, obviously, there are several multiples that will give me 6, but since I am smart, I've already gone through this on my own. So 3x here, 2x here. Good. Step number 2. What two numbers will give me 56 when I multiply them, and yet when I add them, will give me 37? Will give me 37. All right, that sounds fun. All right, so 8 and 7 are those two numbers. Now, let's make sure that I got that right. So we're going to check by multiplying. Check, check, check. Listen, people, you need to check your work, okay? Because if you don't check your work, you're going to mess up. Might as well get that down in life as well. That's a life lesson. Check your work. All right? Check your work. And also, so, hey, you don't want to get fired from a job because you were lazy and you didn't check your work. All right, so let's check our work. Let's go over here. All right, so here we have, I've picked 3x plus 8 and 2x plus 7. Am I right? Am I right? Yes, you know I'm right. All right, so 8 times 7 is 56. 7 times 3x gives me 21x. 8 times 2x gives me 16x. And 3 times 2 gives me 6x squared. I do all of my adding and voila. I have my original equation right there. So I did pick the right numbers. All right, great, or the right factors. Good, but I'm not done yet. I need to do step number 4, which is right there. Okay, step number 4 tells me that I need to set the factors that I came up with, set them to 0 and solve for x. Good, I'm gonna subtract a here, subtract a here, subtract 7 here, subtract 7 from there. And then I'll do my division because I'll be left with 3x equals -8. Divide by 3, divide by 3, x is equal to -8 over 3. On this side, I'm left with 2x is equal to -7. Divide that by 2, divide by 2, and I'm left with x is equal to -7/2. And that is my answer. Now, if you wanted to check this one, it would probably be good just to go ahead and turn that into decimals, and then put it back into the original equation, and everything here will equal 0, just like everything here equals 0. And there you go. You have successfully solved a quadratic equation. All right, great. Now, so following these very simple steps that I have given to you wonderful people, I hope you didn't fall asleep. Elias, wake up. Now you can go ahead and solve. Look at that. It's homework. No. You know you love homework. Now, I know some of you are working people, but look, it's only 5. Only 5. It's not going to kill you. All right? And now, do not tell me they're not solvable, because they are all solvable. I went through these myself. Okay? So you will have an answer. Good answers for these 5 quadratic equations. Okay. Well, I hope you are done taking notes. Make sure that you have these. And all of the homework that I shall be giving you today, tomorrow, the day after, is due on Friday. Okay? Friday at 8 p.m., not at 10 or 11 or midnight. Elias. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry, Elias. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus. But anyway, at least you did it. That's good. All right, so make sure you have it done by 8 p.m. Friday, April the 3rd, okay? And so we shall be good. Now, in the next video, we will continue with quadratic equations, and we will be looking at solving 2 terms, I believe, 2-term quadratic equations, if my memory serves me correctly. All right, guys, have a good night. Don't sleep too much, and stop playing so much Fortnite or Call of Duty or whatever it is you people are playing nowadays. All right, take care of yourselves, and we will see you on the next video.